So it looks like we missed the heat races for the live broadcast. I'm not sure what happened there, so we're going to get started here for the feature, but it looks like our live did not go live on us. Got our feature event here. Dustin Steinman looked to be on the pole. Best we can figure out. So they're going to get rounded up here. So we missed our. Been talking pretty brilliantly for the last half an hour. Sorry we didn't get to cover it for you, but we missed the heat races. So we're. Where am I hearing myself from? Gonna go around one more lap. All right, Dustin Simon on the pole. Dylan Dewart is going to be outside. We're coming around through 3 and 4 for the 50-lap feature. Jeff Sharp, Michael Dawson. And it's going to be the 17 is Steinman going to bring him to the line. A little sideways there in front of Dewart, but he's going to hold on to the lead, so it's going to be Steinman out in front. Dewart there in second. Michael Dawson third. William Clapp back there in the fourth spot, and we are side by side all throughout the field here. Got the 110 of Kevin Hanley back there in the middle. Chris Roberts, heat race number 2 winner, did not come out very good in the redraws. We're 3 wide off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, it's going to be Hanley getting a little bit of contact there with the inside. They're going to keep it straight. Dylan Dewart still out in front. We're still 3-4 wide here, coming through the middle of the corner. Through 3 and 4, Hanley down there on the bottom. We got Roberts up there in front. Bachman, Moreno, all in the middle of this battle here. The 7 car up on the outside of Michael Dawson. Down the back straightaway we go. Dawson tried to make that outside line work while I go back up our front, and it's Dewart with a pretty good commanding lead, however, with Dustin Steinman there in second, Mason Hannigan third, William Clapp rounding out the top 5. Then we get back here to this battle here for about 5th on back. Track's getting a little bit dusty. You see Oswego drying out just a little bit more. The 7 car, Dawson, into the fence down there, back straightaway. He collects it up there. He falls back to 7th or 8th spot now. We take a look up here to this battle for 4th and 5th with Hannigan and Clapp there. Clapp down to the bottom, trying to move up another spot. In the meantime, Dewart now with about a 1.5 lead off the pace. And we've got our first caution flag of the race. It looks like it's going to be Shane Gallo. Perhaps Shane Gallo and AJ Case are first. Our first caution flag. See if we can go back and see what happened. Jump back here to Shane Gallo. You see Gallo up there on the outside in that 21 car right here in the middle of the field. Gets down to the 1-2 and just, oh, the 7, it was a 7 car of Dawson there sideways in front of the field. So let's see if we can find out what happened to Dawson there. Up on the outside, heads down to the 1 and 2, comes down across the bottom of the racetrack and just gets into the 132. Gets into the 132, spins around Anthony Moreno, and that collects the rest of the cars back there behind. So it looks like maybe Dawson, just a little bit of contact there, getting into the corner. See if we take a look at it one more time here. Yeah, it just gets a little bit hot. They make a little contact, and that piles up the rest of the field right there behind them. And we get back to live here. It's pursuant to caution. So 7 laps down, 44 laps left to go. Chris Murphy here with Digital Racing Sports Network. So we missed a lot of coverage earlier because I forgot to hit the go live button. So apologize for that, but we got the feature event here, and then we're going to roll into the Sportsman Modifieds after the second annual Dirty Old Bastards Super Speedway. We head into the turn 3 and 4 here with Dylan Dewart, Dustin Steinman. Going to bring him to the stripe. It's going to be Dewart. He had about a 1.5-second lead before this caution flag come out. Let's see how if he can get a jump right here. They come off a 4, and he does get a good jump. Heads down to the 1 and 2. At number 120 of Dylan Dewart's going to take the point. It looked like Steinman with a little bit of a bobble up on the top, and there's heat race winner number 2. Chris Roberts now moved up to second. He started back in the middle of this field. Steinman getting pretty loose there in the middle. William Clapp now moving up to third. Steinman falling back, started this restart in second. Now he's back to about 6th. Looks to lose another position here up on the outside. We'll take it back up to the front. Good battle with Dewart and Roberts. Roberts takes a look to the inside. He got a really good run down there against that inside wall. Find a little more traction off at turn number 4. And it's going to be Roberts trying to get to the point. One more time, Dewart fighting back on the outside, and number 120. They head down the back straightaway. We are 9 laps down. 42 laps, 41 laps to go. 8 laps down. Yeah, whatever it is. It's an extra lap for the reshuffle. So 42 laps left to go. It's Roberts and Dewart side by side one more time. Head off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. It's Chris Roberts, Dylan Dewart out in front. We got a good field of cars here all the way back throughout. Looks like Tom Osterdorf is the only car out of this race right now. Get back to the point. They've been running side by side here since this restart, the last 3 or 4 laps. And here comes the 132 of Anthony Moreno involved in that earlier caution. Got lucky on the got his position back on the restart because he is now up to third, but he's falling back now. Where'd he go? I think he's glitching in and out. So we saw that early in the heat race. Moreno kind of blinking on and off, and when he does that, it kind of messes up our leaderboard a little bit. So he just kind of flashes on and off the results screen. So right now it's Dewart out in front still, but Roberts side by side, one more lap around. They've been side by side now for 5 laps. It looks like Roberts finally going to clear him, and he is going to try to bring Anthony Moreno with him. Moreno down there on the bottom, trying to get around Dewart as well. So Roberts now to the point. Roberts started back in about the 10th spot on that redraw. 38 laps left to go right now. It's Roberts, Moreno, Dewart. We'll take a look back here a little bit through the field. Braden Blair now up to that 7th spot. He's got Dustin Steinman right there behind him and Kevin Hanley. Steinman was running 2nd until that caution flag, now falling back through the field here a little bit, back to 8th. You can see this track really starting to dry out. Looks like somebody in the wall back there in the back. It looks like that might have been the 21 of Shane Gallo. You can already see some damage on the front of that car. The 71 of Dustin Stettler back here as well. So Gallo fighting an ill-handling race car with no front end on it. We jump back to the front. It's still Chris Roberts. Anthony Moreno right there behind him. 35 laps to go. Moreno going to take a look to the inside. Made a good dive down to the bottom, and then he blinks out. So pretty challenging when that guy's coming up on the inside of you, and he kind of blinks on and off the screen. You're not really sure where he's at. But it's going to be Moreno to the lead. Going to clear Roberts as he head down in turn number 1 and 2. He's going to slide up off of 2, take that lead. You can see Hannigan back there in the 01 trying to find a little extra traction up on the outside of the racetrack, up on the cushion. catches a fence there just a little bit heading into 3, but going to try to find his way around the 4th place running car, William Clapp, in the number 4. So a good battle going on here for 4th and 5th with William Clapp and Mason Hannigan. Sam Bachman sitting there right behind these two looking for a place to go. We'll jump in with Sam Bachman. You can see the battle right there in front of him between William Clapp and Mason Hannigan. Hannigan temporarily gets to the outside. They're going to take that spot away. Clapp starts to slide up, thinks better of it. And it's the 4 car, William Clapp, in that 4th position. Moreno now starting to put a little distance on this field. Got about almost an 0.8 of a second lead over 2nd place running Chris Roberts. We got a good 3-way battle back here for 4th, 5th, and 6th as Hannigan going to clear Clapp for 4th. Clapp still sitting there in 5th. Sam Bachman in 6th. 30 laps left to go. We're about 5 laps away from halfway, and it's still Anthony Moreno out in front. Him and Chris Roberts both worked their way up from the middle of the field. And you can see, we'll jump in the car here with Chris Roberts. You can see how black that track's starting to get in the middle. Drivers trying to find a little traction either down right against the inside wall or up on the top. Roberts doing a good job running that bottom group. Moreno just a little bit quicker off the corner. You can see Roberts getting a little sideways coming off right there. It's cost him a little bit of time. Everybody kind of getting single filed out here. Moreno, Roberts. Take a look back here somewhere in the middle of the pack. It's Braden Blair of the 22 taking a look underneath Kevin Hanley there for that, trying to get up into that 7th spot. He does temporarily, but Hanley fights back up on the outside. Now Blair going to try the top of the racetrack. Hanley kind of running that slider line, kind of went down on the bottom of the racetrack, slid up through the center. It's going to come off a 4 up on the outside. Blair trying to find a way around him here for that 7th position. Take a look back towards the front one more time. We jump on here with Mason Hannigan. He's moved his way up to 4th. He's actually reeling in that 3rd place car of Dylan Dewart a little bit. As you can see, Clapp back there in the rearview mirror, along with Sam Bachman back there in 5th and 6th. Anthony Moreno, Chris Roberts, Dylan Dewart, Mason Hannigan, William Clapp, your top 5 right now. Clapp slides up the middle of the racetrack a little bit. That's going to let Bachman make up some ground on him there for that 5th spot. One of the best battles we got on the racetrack right now is Hannigan down on the bottom. Or excuse me, Bachman down on the bottom. Clapp up in the middle of the racetrack. Now slide up onto that cushion a little bit, see if he gets a good run off. If he tags the wall just a little bit, that's going to hurt his run off. And they're still side by side for 5th. William Clapp and Sam Bachman. Bachman working that bottom line. That bottom line looks to be the fastest. Oh, and they're going to make contact off the corner. Contact off the corner. Bachman's going to pay for it. Unfortunately, that's going to send Sam Bachman around. We'll jump back and take a look at it here real quick and see exactly what happened. They were battling out for that 5th and 6th spot. You can see Clapp up there on the outside, Bachman down on the bottom. They're going to come off the corner right here. Clapp comes down the racetrack a little bit. Bachman slides up the racetrack. They just kind of meet in the middle. Contact right there, and that's going to send Bachman around into the inside wall. That's got to be a little bit of front end damage there for him. We had a good race going on there. Unfortunately, that's going to send Sam Bachman to the back of the longest line here. That looks like he is going to find himself in the pits. So, see your leader still going to be Anthony Moreno, Chris Roberts in 2nd. We're going to go around one more time. All right, pace track's going to pull off the back straightaway. I was just trying to clean up some files here real quick while we're... All right, it's going to be Anthony Moreno, bring him to the line. Chris Roberts, Dylan Dewart, Mason Hannigan. And Moreno with a good jump off of turn number 4, going to bring him to the stripe. So we started with 16. I think we're down to 15 still out on the racetrack. Roberts now side by side with Dylan Dewart. Dewart trying to get that bottom line away from him. But Roberts going to be able to take that spot back away, and it's Dewart and Hannigan now side by side for second. Or excuse me, for third, with Hanley now made his way up to 5th. And it looks like we might have another caution. Our third caution of the event of the race. Looks like... Didn't quite see what it was here. It might have been Shane Gallo. See if we can go back and take a look. The Gallo in the 21 car down there on the bottom. Already got some damage on the race car. His head's down into turn 1. The car's got a pretty good push on it right there as he gets into the corner. And it looks like a little contact there with A-Case in the 0-1. And I'm not sure who that was there in the red and black car. Go back one more time if we can see what happened there, but it looked like just a little bit of contact right there in front of Gallo. It looks like that's the 42. It is the 42 car up there on the outside. I can't quite tell who that is on my screen, but just gets into the back of the 0001 car. But AK sends him around, and Gallo's going to collect it, and unfortunately the 71 of Dylan Slitner also going to be involved. That's a Charles Allen there in the 42. So just kind of a chain reaction there. The 42 and the 01 make some contact, and that turns them around. And then everybody else just kind of collected in the melee. So still our leader. And my Anthony Moreno still out in front. Chris Roberts there in second. Lights are out on the pace track one more time. 23 laps left to go. It's a 50-lap feature. It's our third caution flag. Let's see if we can go the rest of this way. Go the rest of the distance with no more cautions. Got 132. Moreno's going to bring him to the stripe. Once again, going to get a good jump over that second place from Moreno, but it looks like Dewart they're going to jump down to that fourth, try to get that third spot away from Hannigan. Take a look to the inside, slides up the racetrack, cuts it off about halfway up, and he's going to come off the bottom of the racetrack. But here comes Hannigan with a good run off at turn number 2, down the back straightaway into 3. That top group looking to come in a little bit. You can see Hannigan up there running it, Hanley running it as well. But our two leaders right around the bottom of the racetrack, so you can see two grooves working here right now. As you see, Roberts actually sliding him through the middle, coming off of turn number 2. That seems to be working pretty good for him. Track really starting to dry out. You can see the dust. I mean, they put dirt on top of this pavement. It's amazing it holds up nearly as well as it does. As Anthony Moreno still out in front. Chris Roberts second. Mason Hannigan, Dylan Dewart. Take a look back here. Hanley there in the 110. William Clapp all over the back of him there for 5th. So here's our battle for 3rd and 4th. Come off of turn number 2 down, excuse me, off of 4 down the front straightaway one more time. 4 car at Clapp into the fence. Gathers it up. Doesn't look like he took too much damage on that. Could easily damage that right front of the car, but looks to be going strong. Hanley now in 5th. Hannigan 3rd. Dewart 3rd and 4th. 18 laps left to go this 50-lap feature. Back up front, it's Anthony Moreno with about a 7/10 of a second gap back to Chris Roberts. The last laps, Roberts was about a 1/10 of a second faster. Let's see if he can close the gap. Clapp into the wall one more time back there. You can see back and kind of off the shot there a little bit. Track really drying out. Moreno, Roberts, Hannigan, your top three. Dewart, they're in fourth. We jump back here to the back a little bit. We got a battle going on here with Bachman and 7 car of Dawson. Dawson with some earlier troubles in one of our caution flags. Back out there now up to 6. It looks like we got another caution. It looks like I might have seen, who was that I saw around? I saw Dewart spinning around. We'll see if we can take a look at it. Dewart was running up here in the top 5. See if we can see what happened. Dives down in the corner. You see Hanley down there in the 110. Right underneath them. Look, it's going to be some contact. Hanley's going to make some contact. Tried to look around the inside. Going to make just a little bit of contact with the back. With the left rear quarter of Dewart. And that is going to send him around. Take one more look here so we get a little bit different angle on it. I believe this battle was for 4th and 5th at the time. Dewart right there in front in the 120. Here comes Hanley down on the bottom. He thinks he's got a line down there, but the car just slides up the racetrack. Just gets in a little deep, makes contact with the left rear of that 120 car and sends Dewart around. So the 110 and the 120 both going to be spun around there. We'll jump back to the front of this field. Anthony Moreno still out in front. Chris Roberts in second. All right, got a couple more laps to go. So this is our 4th caution. 4th or 5th caution. I lost count. Lights are going to go out on the pace truck one more time. It's been Moreno and Roberts out in front for about the last 30 laps of this race. Jump into the car here with Braden Blair in the 4th spot for this restart. Going to bring him to the stripe. Does a good job here, but down on the bottom it's Mason Hannigan with a good start. He's going to take that 2nd spot away. Going to slap the racetrack in front of Chris Roberts. He's going to catch the wall. They're 4 wide off of turn number 2 here for that 2nd spot. Our leader flashing on and off like Christmas lights. Moreno's still out in front. Roberts way up on the outside. Excuse me, that's the 01 of Hannigan there on the outside. Roberts right there behind him. And here comes that 7 car, Michael Dawson, back into the battle. 16 laps left to go, 15 to go now. As we cross the stripe, and this battle here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is just letting Moreno get away a little bit more. Moreno out in front, Hannigan 2nd, Roberts in 3rd. The 7 car, Dawson slides up the race. He's going to make contact with the 007 of Sam Bachman. Got me all excited. I couldn't read my number, but Dawson now and Bachman make a little bit of contact, but we're still clean and green right now. Braden Blair back there in the 22s also worked his way up into a battle here for this top 5. Take a look back here, just a battle with Dewart and Hanley now coming through the field. They're going to make some contact with Dustin Steinman. And that is going to knock the front bumper off of Dewart. I couldn't quite tell if Steinman just got a little bit loose or a little bit of contact. He's loose one more time off the corner. All right. A little damage, a little litter there on the racetrack, some debris, but looks like there's no harm, no foul. They're going to drive right through it. Come off at turn number 2 here. It's Moreno. Hannigan now in 2nd. Roberts right there in 3rd. Looks like we lost Dawson in the 7 car around. It's going to bring out our latest caution flag. So Dawson involved in another caution here in that black number 7. We'll jump back here again real quick and see what happened as we go under caution one more time. He dives down in the corner right underneath the 007 there of Bachman. Big slider all the way up the racetrack. And it looks like Bachman's going to get into his left rear quarter there a little bit. It's exactly what happens. A little bit of contact from the 7 and the 007 is going to send Dawson around. And we are under that's going to put us under our latest caution flag. Yellow still out. Moreno out in front. We've got 11 laps left to go out of this 50. Take a look at our lap leaders. That's not even accurate. We need to where it glitches out, so that doesn't really work well for us. So it's going to be Moreno out in front with 12 to go now. Hannigan up on the outside. Let's see if Hannigan can stay. Moreno's done a good job on his restarts and getting just enough of a jump to clear the cars behind him. Let's see if he can. See if Hannigan can find a way to stay with him. Roberts right there. Braden Blair. Braden Blair was our fastest car way back in practice. It's the best he's looked since we've started racing here through the heats. Even though I screwed up and didn't bring you the heat races, but we got you for the main event. So. All right, one more time. Head down the back straightaway. 12 laps left to go with Anthony Moreno out in front. Mason Hannigan, Chris Roberts, Braden Blair, Jeff Sharp, Kevin Hanley, Charles Allen, Dylan Dewart, Dustin Simon, Michael Dawson, Sam Bachman, I believe, are the last cars on the racetrack. We come off of 4. Hannigan does a good job sticking on the outside right there. And it's a 110 of Hanley around. Hanley actually around. That is going to collect the 120. Dewart one more time involved in another incident. Dawson also involved in it. See if we can see what happened. I'm not quite sure. Let's see if we can see what happened here to Dylan Dewart here on this restart. So Dewart there behind the 110 of Hanley. Head down into the corner. It looks like Dawson might have gotten the back. I couldn't really quite tell there, but maybe a little contact with the 7 and the 120, and we can't really see what happens. It's kind of dusty there, so we'll go back here one more time. See if we can see what happened. We'll take a look from the view of Michael Dawson. Get another angle on it. Keep an eye on that 7 car. Did he get in a little deep there? No, it looks like the 120, the 110 just make a little contact. Dawson just kind of wrapped up in it. So one again, and the 4 car, William Clapp, just nowhere to go, drives right in the back of the 120. And we're piled up one more time in this Pro Stock. We got one more race to run after this. These guys are going to have to shake this off. This has not been the best of races here. Cautions breed cautions. That's what tends to happen. We get one caution flag. The other comes out right behind it. So we are down to 10 cars left on the racetrack out of our 16 starters. So Moreno's still out in front. Mason Hannigan now in second. Braden Blair, Chris Roberts, your top 4. Single file restart coming off of turn number 4. Moreno's done a good job on these restarts to see if he can get one more good one here. Single file brings him off the line off of 4. Hannigan able to stay right there with him, heading down into 1 and 2. The 01 looking really strong to the middle and on top of the racetrack. Let's see if he can get a run off of 2. Moreno, Hannigan, Blair, and Roberts, your top 4. I think we got 11 cars left to run on the racetrack. The 132 Moreno still blinking. Kind of disappearing there back and forth. That's kind of sketchy for Hannigan. Doesn't really know where to go sometimes when that car's disappearing on you. But Hannigan doing a good job working that top of the racetrack. Catches the wall there a little bit. We've got another caution flag. Our 7th caution of the race. It didn't involve our Dylan Dewart one more time. It looks like it might have. So Dewar here back in the back on the inside of the 4-car of Clapp. Let's see if something happens in front of him. It looks like something did happen in front of him. You see the 28, the 71, and the 17. So we see Steinman and the 71 of Stiltner. Let's go back here and see if we can find it again. Not been pretty eventful race here for Dewart. He's been involved in just about everything here lately. Not his doing, but there's a 7-car Dawson up into the 17. That's going to get the 71, the 28, the 120. We're piled all up in 1 and 2 right here. We'll go back one more time, take a look at this from in-car of the 7-car of Michael Dawson. You see him get in the corner down here, down on the bottom of the racetrack. And he is just going to catch that left rear quarter of Steinman, turn him around. And then from there, it's everybody just piling in. You can see the view here from Hanley. Hanley does a good job avoiding everything, goes around to the outside. I'll get back to live time here. 9 laps left to go in this 50-lap feature. Pace trucks off the racetrack. Single file restart. Once again, Moreno, Hannigan, Roberts, Blair, your top 4. Let's jump in here with Hannigan as we come to the green flag. Does a good job of sticking there with Moreno. Moreno didn't get a good jump. He's going to go down to the bottom here. Hannigan's been running that top line, trying to find some advantage. We're going to go down to the bottom of the racetrack. Roberts to the outside. Moreno, Hannigan, and Roberts. We got a good fight up here for the top 3. If we can just stay green for the last 8 laps of this race. Roberts now going to find his way underneath of Hannigan for that 2nd spot. Blair back there in 4th. We watch the top 3 here. Moreno still disappearing off and on. Moreno, Hannigan, Roberts, your top 3. Hannigan trying to get a run on the top. He drives that car deep in the corner, but he's going to catch the fence in turn number 3. That's going to allow Roberts to get up on the inside for that 2nd spot. Moreno now with about 7/10 of a second advantage. Back to 2nd is Hannigan and Roberts. And you see Moreno right down against on the bottom of the racetrack. Hannigan into the wall one more time. That is going to free up Roberts. He is going to move up into 2nd. See if he can run down Moreno. He's got 5 laps left to go and about a second to make up. Blair in 4th back there. We'll take a look through the back of the field here one more time. Bachman, they're in 5th up on the outside. You can see the 7 of Dawson, the 42 Charles Allen, and Kevin Hanley right there. Blair takes a big dive down to the bottom of Bachman. He gets a little sideways off the corner though. He collects it, but that's going to allow Dawson to get around him for that 5th spot. Blair back to 6th. Little shuffling through the field here. 3 wide now off of turn number 4. That's for 8th, 9th, and 10th. You can see Clapp back there as the dust is really kicking up here at Oswego. We jump back up to the front. Roberts is able to make about a 1/10 of a second a lap, or about a 1/10 of a second up. He was about a 1/10 faster. Actually, they ran the exact times on the last lap, and we've got one more caution. Caution number 8 here of this 50-lap feature. And it looks like it may have been Chris Roberts. Was it Robert? No. Let's see if I can figure out what happened here. It looked like it might have been Steinman. Gets down in the corner. He's got Dewart right there in front of him. Looks like his car's just kind of getting loose on him there off the corner. He's going to hit that inside wall there. And that is going to spin the car around. So the 17 of Steinman goes around and brings out caution flag number 8. Hard impact there with the wall coming off the corner, that is going to put Steinman back to the back of the field. If not out of this race, he's in the pits for repairs at the moment. All right, we got 3 laps left to go. I'm assuming it's another single file restart. All right, lights still on the pace track. We'll come around here. 2 laps left to go. Actually, I think it's 3, but we'll find out once we go green. Moreno, Roberts now back up to second. Turn that off. We're gonna go green flag one more time. 3 laps left to go. As they're gonna come across the stripe. It's Moreno out in front. I'll wait for him to come off of turn number 4. Moreno Roberts takes a look to the inside right on the start. They're going to head down to 1 and 2. 2 laps left to go across the stripe. It's Moreno Roberts, Hannigan, Bachman. They're in that 4 spot. Hannigan into the wall one more time, but Moreno's getting a good drive off the corner. He's already put over half a second on that second place car. Hannigan drives that car deep into the corner. Catches the ball, and we're under caution once again. Our 9th caution flag of the event. All right. Actually, it says 8th. There's the 9th. There we go. This one looks like it might have been Hanley one more time. You get a little contact from Blair. Looks like the 110 right there. Hanley back there in the middle of the field. Let's see here. Blair's right there behind him. So Hanley down to the bottom of 1. Oh, it looks like 7 car Dawson gets pretty sideways there. Sideways in front of Hanley. Hanley just has really nowhere to go. Collects the 7 car. And they are just piling it up there in the background. So I think maybe the only 2 cars that don't have any damage in this race right now are probably our first and second place cars right now. This Hannigan has been bounced off the wall enough times. I'm sure he's got some kind of damage. All right, so we're going to go green again. 2 laps left to go. I don't think we completed a lap there. It's Anthony Moreno. Anthony's led, how many laps he led? He's led 32 laps of this race. Chris Roberts has led 7. Hannigan's led 1, and Steinman led 2 early on. So 4 different leaders in this race. Moreno's easily led the most laps. You know, I think one thing I've neglected to do for this whole race is bring up our sponsor, Design Metal Art, plasma cutting specialist, laser engraving. So if you're looking for some work done, I'm not sure where they're located at, but look up Design Metal Art. All right, lights are out on the pace track. Come off of turn number 4. We're going to head down the back straightaway. We're going to see if we can get the last 2 laps of this race completed. 9 caution flags. Moreno rolls him down into turn number 3. One more time. He's going to come off of 4. Bring him to the stripe. It's Roberts right there in second. And one more time, Moreno. Blair tries to take a look to the inside of Bachman there for that 4th spot, but Moreno, 2 laps left to go in this race. He is got about a 4 car length advantage now over the second place running Chris Roberts. It's Moreno Roberts. Roberts drives that car deep into turn number 3. Kind of slides in the middle, loses little momentum as they come across the stripe. It's going to be white flag. White flag in the air for Anthony Moreno, Chris Roberts, and Mason Hannigan. Roberts doing everything he can to make up the ground. Moreno about 7/10 out in front. He's going to come into turn number 3 off of 4. It's going to be Moreno coming across the stripe. Hannigan back there in third. Is going to just not able to do this. Moreno, Roberts, Hannigan. Dewart made his way back up to 4th after all the contact he had in this race. Braden Blair, William Clapp, Jeff Sharp, Michael Dawson, Kevin Hanley, Sam Bachman going to round out the top 10, and it's Dustin Steinman, Charles Allen. the last running cars on the racetrack, and then back in 13th is going to be Dylan Slitter, Dylan Slitter, AJK, Shane Gallo, and Tom Ostendorf is going to round out the top 12 here. The 132 is going to bring it home. He's going to park in victory lane and then blink out. Chris Roberts there in second. So we had a little glitch earlier, missed the heat races for you. Unfortunately, we had some good heat races too. So we're going to bring up our results here for the feature event. And it's going to be Anthony Moreno coming home full throttle motorsports in first. Chris Roberts second. Mason Hannigan going to round out the top three. Dylan D, where Dylan was involved in at least 4 or 5 cautions. I don't know how he made his way back to fourth, but Dylan up to fourth. Braden Blair fifth. William Clapp going to come home in sixth. Jeff Sharp seventh. Michael Dawson, Kevin Hanley, Sam Bachman, Dustin Steinman, Charles Allen Jr., Dylan Slitter, AJ Case, Shane Gallo, and Tom Ostendorf going to round out our 16-car field. So we had 16 start. I think we had maybe 12 finish the race. So we're going to have to jump out of here. Have to jump over to the other lobby here for the sportsmen. So we're gonna put you up in the starting lineup. So we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes as we get into the other lobby. So Chris Murphy here with Digital Racing Sports Network. We'll be right back. All right, that's not the screen we want, is it? All right, so we're gonna get this thing going here in just a second. I guess we'll just go, yeah, we'll go with that one. What the heck? So we'll be right back here in just a minute. We're getting the lobby set up. We're getting the lobby set up for the sportsman. We can. All right, let me pull something up here real quick. Well, we don't have much of a screen up here real quick, but we're gonna bring our top three in here real quick. Are you getting the lobby set up for the next one? All right. All right, so we're gonna bring in our winner, Anthony Moreno. Anthony, hey, Chris Murphy here in the booth with you, buddy. You got us. All right, just a second. Let me get your audio up here. All right, let's try that one more time.
How's it going?
There we go. We got you now. Hey, good race there. We got a black screen up, and we should have stayed in the lobby and done some restarts. If we're gonna do interviews, but we'll just stay here for now. So, but good run there. You led about 33 or 34 laps of that race. You know, you kind of had to start back there in the middle somewhere. Give us a bit of a replay of your race there from your point of view.
Well, I started, I think, 6th, and up on the top, felt like there was nothing up there. Just had no drive off, so just tried to migrate down to the bottom. Caught up to Chris and DJ there running Try to
lose you? Oh,
sneak
there.
under Chris coming out of one of the corners, and yeah, I don't know. My internet's being funky. I don't know. I have to restart my router again. But yeah, I just had to wait for Chris to slide up a little bit and take advantage.
Yeah, you looked really good all throughout there. You know, 9 caution flags throughout that race can kind of take it out of you. So it's you did a really good job of every restart just getting enough of an advantage over the guys behind you. But I've been in that position before, and you're out there in front, and you can't really see what the guys are doing behind you, and you're just trying to every restart after every restart, just trying to get a little bit of advantage. But you did a really great job there. What were you doing a little bit different on the starts there that was able to get you a little bit of a gap back to the guys behind you?
I was just trying to fire from different spots and make sure not to spin the tires there and not miss my shift going into fourth gear coming through. So, and yeah, when we get all those restarts, you feel like a sitting duck out there. You don't know what's going on behind you. You just try to hit your marks and hope someone doesn't blow your doors off there. I saw Mason was hanging around. I was like, all right, I know I've raced Mason enough. He's going to try to run around the outside of me. So just try to hit the bottom as good as I can and stay straight coming out of the corner. And hopefully it was working.
So are you going to run the Sportsman next?
Yeah, I'm going to do the Sportsman and then I'll be going back to work tomorrow night. So that'll be the end of that.
All right. Well, good luck to you in the Sportsman. Congratulations. You ran a great race. Did everything you had to do. So hopefully we'll see you again after the next feature.
Hope so. Thanks a lot.
But second place was Chris Roberts. Chris in here with us as well. Chris, hey buddy. We talked a little bit before the race about how this was going to go. Did you feel like you had a good shot to be up here in the top 3 when this was over with?
Yeah, I mean, especially after that heat race performance. That when I did that, I figured I had something good to go with, and got by Dylan, and then like Anthony said, he was just waiting for me to slip up, and about the time he come around, I couldn't figure out turn 2. I was trying to figure something out there and slid up, and that was all it took, and just stayed even with him after that.
Yeah, you looked to struggle off the corner right there. You're gonna kind of look like you were trying to run that bottom down there, but just couldn't quite hold the bottom or slide him through the middle through that black, and looked to lose a little momentum. But then Mason come in there and gave you quite a battle for that second position. Actually took second away from me there for a while. He was up there running that cushion. I didn't, you stuck down to that bottom there for a while. I saw you jump up once or twice, but was that bottom groove just fitting your style a little better?
Yeah, and that's also Oswego. I mean, it's going to be at the bottom. I knew 3 and 4. I was great down there on the bottom, and just like I said, 1 and 2, trying to figure out how to get off at turn 2, and I figured it out. It was just too late to do it. So, I mean, it is what it is. It was a good race, and I was happy with it.
Well, give us a so you're the owner, admin, is the main bottle capper, I guess what I've seen people describe. So you're running the whole show here. What give us a little bit of insight what we're going to see in the Sportsman feature, 75 lap feature coming our way.
Hopefully, it should be another good one. These Sportsman cars last year ran really well with this package. Taking the small block, adding all the weight we can to it, taking out all the power we can. And it put on a good race last year. Hoping it does the same here. I mean, eventually it will, go down to the bottom. But that's just, like I said, that's just the way Oswego is. But it should be another fun one.
Well, appreciate you having us with us tonight, or having us here with you tonight. Hey, that's the way I got that right that time. But we're looking forward to the next race. We kind of messed up and missed the heat races with our live broadcast, but we did get it on in time for the feature. So, what we're going to get all of this Sportsman race. So we're going to jump over. And good job in second. Good luck in the feature coming up, and hopefully we'll talk to you again later, Chris.
Thank you. I hope so. Hopefully it's not just, hey, it's the end of the night. How'd the night go? It's, hey, you're on the top 3 again.
Well, I know we had 28 cars signed up for the Pro Stocks. Only 16 showed up. How do you think the numbers are going to be for the Sportsman race?
There's 47, I think, signed up for it. So hopefully we get a full 32 car field. So
All right,
we'll see.
we're looking forward to it. So Gonna get the lobby up here pretty soon. We'll get jumped in there. In the meantime, we're gonna bring in our third place finisher here tonight, Mason Hannigan. We'll bring Mason in here with us. Mason, hey, Chris Murphy here in the booth, the Digital Racing Sports Network. Hey, man, give us a little bit of your insight. What you saw out there. It was a little bit rough at times. There was a little bit of beating and banging. 9 caution flags in that race. What'd you see from your point of view, my friend?
I don't really know. I just I'm a wing sprint car guy. I don't really know what we got going on here, but I think the majority of the cautions came with like 10 to go, honestly. So it kind of got frustrating. I thought I had a shot at Anthony, but I didn't really know. I wasn't gonna follow him, so I kept smashing it into the fence and let Chris by, let the old timer by, and yeah, we're probably gonna do the same thing right here. We may end up out of the ballpark this time though.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when there's that many caution flags. You try to get yourself in a rhythm, and it's just caution after caution, and just a little frustrating. Sometimes you just start kind of get them a rhythm going, and then you got to go back under caution. And Anthony was doing a good job there on the restarts, putting a little separation on you guys. I think when you were there in second, I think you did a pretty good job of staying with him, but he was just able to have a little bit better pace through 1 and 2 on the starts and put a couple of car lanes on you. Did you think he could have done anything different there to stay with him?
Probably not. I think I honestly killed my tires early. I think his tires were a little bit better, and he just made better laps. So,
All right.
yeah, I don't think I was. I don't really know what I could have done there, but he ran a hell of a racer, and maybe if he doesn't start closer to the front, and we start a little bit closer to the front instead of 11th, it's probably a little different of a story. But at least give him a shot at it. So we'll see how this basically silver crown race goes.
All right. Well, how you feeling about the sportsman race?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't drove a big block in a long time, so we're about to find out.
All right. Well, good luck, and we hope to see you after the race here one more time on the podium. So we'll see you again. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. That is going to bring us to the end of the Pro Stock race one more time. It was Anthony Moreno, Mason, Chris Roberts, Mason Hannigan, Dylan Dewart. I wish I should have saved the replay there so I go back and see how Dylan got back up to fourth after all the cautions he was involved in with late there, but he's up to fourth. Braden Blair fifth. William Clapp in sixth, and we're getting the lobby up here. Looks like the lobby is up for the sportsman race. We'll jump in there real quick. I should have ran this one. I really like these modifieds, but we'll jump in there real quick. Once this gets loaded up, takes a little second to load up through the UI and the iRacing. I'm Chris Murphy, Digital Racing Sports Network, bringing you the Dirty Old Bastards second annual Super Dirt Week here at Oswego. We finished the Pro Stocks. They're going to run all week long. I don't know how much we're going to make it with them here this week, but tonight's Pro Stocks and Sportsman division. Throughout the rest of the week, we're going to have the 358s and big blocks. Let me see if I can go back and find the agenda for the week here. I think I had it up on that poster I had up a minute ago. Throughout the rest of the week, I think we might still have Chris here with us. You still with us, Chris? No. Looks like he was, but now he's gone. All right. We're getting loaded up into the lobby. All right, we're black screen for the moment. There we go. All right, we got practice going on here for the Sportsman Modified. They took the 358s, but added a little bit of weight, kind of detuned the horsepower a little bit. Richie Gaines out here in the 11 car. We got Robert Gow. If I pronounce anybody's name wrong, that's just my weakness. Sorry. In the 75, Dean Reynolds back here. Mason Hannigan, William Clapp, Braden Blair. We saw them earlier in the Pro Stock race doing double duty here tonight. We've got a good field of cars here for this sportsman race. going to try to run 4. I think the format was for, let me find my notes one more time. All right, so Sportsman Modified's plan was to run 4 heat races. Top 8 from each heat are going to go to the feature. Top 3 are going to go to the redraw from each heat race. I'll run a 15-lap B main if necessary. It looks like we've got about, looks like about 25 to 30 cars here right now. The plan is to run a 32-car field for 75 laps here at Oswego. We've got about 10 minutes left in this 15-minute practice session. "26 cars look right. I've signed in so far for practice. 71 car Dylan Slider here. I keep saying Stiltner. Sorry, it's Dylan Slider. In the 71 right there behind him, William Clapp. The 4 car of Clapp, that's a 79 of Dean Reynolds. Right there to his inside, and that black and purple car. Clapp into the wall again. Take a look at the 001 of AJ Case. 33 David. I don't know if I'm going to try this one or not. Tamashi? I'm going to have to ask my wife how to pronounce his name. Sorry, David. So far, 05. I like that number 05. Braden Eiler. Fast time so far here in practice with a 1903. David Galloway with a 1906 right there behind him. See if we can get our timing towers up here. There we go. So it's Eiler with a 1902. Fast time so far in practice. We got about 9 minutes left to go. The 901 of David Galloway. Clean looking paint scheme right there on the David Galloway 901. Still Braden Eiler in the 05. Orange and black number 05. Out in front here in practice. We got 8 minutes left to go. We're going to step away for just a minute ourselves. We're going to leave it up here for practice. Get a little bit of drink. So we'll be back here in just a minute. We're going to keep the view up here for you. All right, we're back just in time to watch Braden Eiler spin it around there in practice and catch the back straightaway wall. So it looks like all drivers have made their way into the pits. Looks like practice might be over. Looks like they're gonna have a little bit of a drivers meeting before qualifying with 30 cars make the show here tonight. They were gonna start a 32 car feature, so this may mean that everybody makes the show. Just a couple minutes left here. All right, let's see if we can find out the rest of the week. I had a whole agenda for the whole week here and I lost it somewhere, so. So as earlier, we had a new winner. This is the second annual Super Dirt Week for Dirty Old Bastards. I'm Chris Murphy here with Digital Racing Sports Network. Bringing you the coverage here for, let's see here, a second part of the race. We had Pro Stocks earlier. And it was Anthony Moreno bringing home the win. Let's see if he can find his way to the point here in the Sportsman mods. Braden Eiler looked really good out there earlier. Best lap with a 19:03 in practice. David Galloway with a 19:06. All right. So we've got one more heat races. It doesn't. I'm guessing we're gonna skip the B main. So top 4 from each heat. We're gonna go to the redraw for our 75 lap feature. So the rest of the events for the rest of the week. So after this race tonight, we've got the Sportsman Modifieds here to finish off tonight. Tomorrow night, at 9 p.m. Eastern, is gonna be small block modifieds. And then Tuesday night, we're going to see the big blocks come out and run their heat races qualifying and some B mains as well on Tuesday night. Wednesday night will be the 150 lap feature for the small block, 75 laps, 2 segment race. And then Thursday night, we'll round out the week with the big block 200 at 6 p.m. or excuse me, 9 p.m. Eastern time. 200 laps. Are going to run that in 3 segments, 75, 75, and 50 lap segments there on Thursday night. Should be a great end to the week. We're going to be here for sure tonight. We're not sure of the rest of the week. I know for sure we're not going to be here Wednesday, but we're going to try to make whatever we can. So we've had a lot of fun covering these races. Get back to our old. We've been doing a lot of stuff with. You've seen some kind of sim racing media graphics popping up every once in a while here. I've been trying to. But we do some work with them. We're going to be doing broadcast with a. What league is that Wednesday night? Outlaw Sim Series truck race Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern with Sim Racing Media. We jump over every once in a while on our own YouTube channel, cover a few races here and there, but we haven't had a chance to cover a lot of dirt races, so we've been doing a lot of NASCAR, some trucks, some GT3, some endurance races here off and on for a couple different companies, so kind of fun to get back to our roots. Been around dirt racing all of our life. It's good to get back here and cover some big blocks, some street stocks, some modifieds, little UMP races every once in a while. That's where we cut our teeth. So we got 30 cars here. 30 cars showed up here for this event here tonight. The DOB second annual Super Dirt Week. We're going to get right into qualifying. All right, so let's see who's going to hit the racetrack first. So we got a couple laps here in qualifying, couple minutes to go. Everybody gets 2 laps out on the racetrack. We'll take a look here at Richie Gaines in the number 11. We're going to keep an eye on Braden Eiler in the 05. He was our fastest in practice. We're going to come across the stripe here for lap number 1. Richie Gaines going to come across the stripe with a 1963 right there behind him. Braden Blair with a 1968. It's Matthew Rogers now to the top with a 19554. Dean Reynolds going to come in second. Braden Eiler, who was fastest in practice in the 05 car, is in second right now with a 564. 100th of a second behind our pole sitter right now, Matthew Rogers in the 26. Eiler, Reynolds. Gaines now going to come into the pits. Kevin Hanley now in the top 5 with a 19673. Yeah, I think I got the last lap. There we go. That looks better. Rogers with a 19554. Eiler's going to be second with a 564. Reynolds 576. See who else is still left out on the racetrack. Sam Bachman in the 007. Going to come across the stripe here one more time. His first lap with a 1970. He comes off of turn number 4. He's going to come across the stripe. And he's going to make it no improvement. They're going to stay with the 1970. So that is going to be our qualifying order right there. We'll bring that up for you real quick. It looks like it's going to be... we got to go back to the top for some reason. There we go. Pole sitter going to be Matthew Rogers with a fast time with a 19554. Right behind him, the 100th of a second back, Braden Eiler in the 05. Dean Reynolds, Mason Hannigan, David Galloway going to round out the top 5 in qualifying. Then it's James Murphy, Richie Gaines, Kevin Hanley, Braden Blair, William Clapp, Oliver Gow, Sam Bachman, Blake Parsons, Michael Dawson, AJ Case back in 15th, Jeff Sharp, Eli Chandler, Charles Allen Jr. going to be the 18th spot there in qualifying. Then we're going to go back and find our second place finisher in the pro race earlier was Chris Roberts in 19th, Derek Witzke, Kenny Douglas, Darrell Bass, Robert Gow, Dylan Slider, Derek Moore, Dylan Dewart, Clay Christopherson, Anthony Moreno. Our winner did not set a lap here in qualifying. Dustin Steinman and David Tomowski going to round out our 30-car qualifying field as we're going to get ready to go here for our first heat race. First heat race going to be Matthew Rogers on the pole. We're going to come around one more timer, it looks like. See if I can get this lineup in real fast. Dean Reynolds, David Galloway, Richie Gaines. Inside of row number 3 is going to be Braden Blair, Oliver Gow, Blake Parsons, AJ Case, Eli Chandler, Chris Roberts, Kenny Douglas. And then Robert Gow back there in the 12th spot. Then we're going to do 2 heat races. So Clay Christopherson in 14th. Dustin and Simon are going to round out the field back there in 15th. Going to come to the stripe here off of turn number 4. It's going to be Matthew Rogers on the pole. Dean Reynolds up on the outside. 15-lap heat race here. And Rogers going to get a pretty good jump. Is that going to be too good of a jump? Is he going to get a black flag for jumping the start? That we'll find out. It's Rogers out in front. Richie Gaines second. Dean Reynolds up on the outside. So Rogers, Gaines, and Reynolds, your top 3 are settled in right now. And it looks like the 4th place car, the 901 of David Galloway, looking to the inside as well. So Gaines all over the back of the 26 of Matthew Rogers. Rogers out in front. Gaines second. Reynolds in third. But the 901 car of David Galloway looking to get that 3rd spot away. Back there in 5th is Oliver Gow. Is that the 33, 23 there? Eli Chandler gets a little bit sideways. They're now 3 wide to the middle of the corner. It looked like maybe Robert Gow into the fence back there in the 15, but he gathers it back up, so we got no caution. We're still clean and green. We saw 9 caution flags earlier in our Pro Stock event. Can we get through this horseman race with a little bit cleaner, a little bit better race? Not that it was bad racing, it's just a lot of little mistakes here and there. As we look at AJ Kaser on the outside in that 001 now up to 6th. 85 right there in front of him. Oliver Gow trying to make his way around the 901 of David Galloway, but out in front it's still Matthew Rogers. Richie Gaines looking to the inside. He'll jump in the car. There was Richie. You can see him get down in the corner down there. They come off of turn number 4 down into 1 and 2. It's still Rogers out in front. Gaines just trying to find a way around. He's going to look to the bottom. Looks down to the inside into turn number 1 off of turn number 2. Off of turn 4, actually. Gaines right there alongside. They are inches away from each other right now. It's Rogers and Gaines for finding out for that top spot. In the meantime, Dean Reynolds back there in third, really nowhere to go as they're side by side in front of him. Eight laps left to go in this race. It's Rogers, Gaines, Reynolds, your top 3. Gaines looks back to the inside, has to settle back up, tuck back up behind the 26 car. Our top 3 just nose to tail down the back straightaway. Excuse me. Down the front straightaway. Now they're down the back straightaway. Just a good race here. 15 cars here started heat race number 1. We'll get 15 cars in heat race number 2 as well. And it's Rogers, Gaines, and Reynolds, your top 3. They've been this way for a while now. And you can see the whole field nose to tail all the way down the straightaway. Take a look at the 901 of David Galloway sitting back there in 4th. The 5th place car, David Gow, AJ Case back there in 6th. Blake Parsons in 7th. Chris Roberts, Clay Christensen rounding out the field. Roberts, our 2nd place finisher in the Pro Stocks earlier, not having a great heat race run, but up there in 8th is Rogers and Gaines now side by side. One more time, looked like a little bit of contact when we switched over to the camera, but they're settled it back out. Rogers, Gaines, Reynolds, and Galloway, your top 4. Reynolds now takes a look to the inside. That is going to let Galloway make up a little bit of ground. Reynolds lost some pace there, had to slide up the racetrack, lost a little momentum, but here comes Galloway down to the inside of the 79. For that 3rd spot, we've got a good race here. 3 laps left to go. Rogers, Gaines, Galloway, Reynolds. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Reynolds slides up the racetrack, a little contact with the 3rd and 4th right there, but Galloway collects it. Did get into the wall just a little bit, but he's going to settle there into 4th. He's going to come back on the bottom, try to gain that spot back from Galloway. 2 laps left to go. Come off of turn number 4. Final lap. White flag right now. It's Matthew Rogers out in front. Richie Gaines doing everything he can to get by him for the lead. They're going to head down the back straightaway for the last time here in this heat race number 1. Off of turn number 4. And it's going to be Matthew Rogers, Richie Gaines, Galloway, Reynolds, Oliver Gallagher, AJ Case, Clay Christopherson, Chris Roberts in 8th, Eli Chandler. So once again, it's Matthew Rogers coming home with a win. Richie Gaines, David Galloway, Dean Reynolds, Oliver Gow, AJ Case in 6th. Let's see if we can pull those results up here real quick. There we go. Rogers, Gaines, Galloway, Reynolds, and Gal, your top 5. AJ Case, Clay Christopherson, Chris Roberts, Eli Chandler, Blake Parsons, Derek Moore, Kenny Douglas, Dustin Simon, Robert Gow, Braden Blair. Gonna come home in 15th. All right, we'll get our lineup here for heat race number 2. It looks like on the pole it's going to be Braden Eiler, Mason Hannigan, James Hannigan finished 3rd in the Pro Stocks earlier. James Murphy, Kevin Hanley, William Clapp, Sam Bachman, Michael Dawson, Jeff Sharp, Charles Allen Jr., Derek Witzke, Daryl Bass, Dylan Slider. And then rounding out the rest of the heat race here, we got 15 starters. Dylan Dewart back there in 13th. Dylan finished 4th earlier. After the trouble, Anthony Moreno, your winner in the Pro Stocks in 14th. And starting 15th, David Tomaski. All right. Heat race number 2 here for the Sportsman Modifieds. 350 modified with a little extra weight and a little less horsepower. Braden Nyler, Mason Hannigan. It's our second event of the night and our second event for the Super Speed Week for Dirty Old Bastards. Second annual Super Speed Week, that is. Super Dirt Week, actually it is. Speed and dirt, kind of the same thing. I'm Chris Murphy with Digital Racing Sports Network. Braden Nyler, Mason Hannigan here on the front row for heat race number 2. James Murphy, Kevin Hanley, Sam Bachman. Going to come to the stripe. It's going to be Eiler getting a good jump over Hannigan. Hannigan settling into second. We're set 2 wide back there for third and fourth with a 65 of James Murphy on the inside. Kevin Hanley in the 110 settles back into fourth. William Clapp back there in the number 4. In the 4 spot right now, but it's still Braden Eiler out in front. Mason Hannigan, James Murphy, Kevin Hanley, your top 4s. We're single filed out. Look back towards the back. We've got Charles Allen back here side by side with Michael Dawson. Dawson slides up in front of him. Allen back to the inside. We're 3 wide back here for 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's the 98 of Darrell Bass there on the inside. He slides up into Dawson. That's a 90 car, sorry. Dawson and Bass, a little bit of contact. As we get back up to the front, it's Hannigan and Eiler side by side. The 05 and the 01. Hannigan looks to the inside. They head into turn number 3. He's going to try to slide up in front. Has to pinch the car down to the middle of the racetrack. Looks like the 4 car clap into the wall back there, but the 01 of Hannigan now out in front is going to slide up. 05 of Eiler going to cross back under. Hannigan kind of cuts to slide up, cut off that cut under as he kind of hangs out in the middle of the racetrack. One more big slide here from Eiler. Hannigan looked to cross over, not able to do it. Eiler does that move that I like to do. When you do a slider on somebody, you kind of sit in the middle of the racetrack. Don't give them that ability to cross under you. But you can see Hannigan with a big slider right there. Eiler goes down to the bottom down to protect. Going to hang on to that lead. Hannigan right there in second. James Murphy settled back into third, but he has got his hands full with Kevin Hanley and Sam Bachman. One more time, Hannigan looks to the inside of Eiler. Not able to clear the slider this time. They come off of turn number 2, side by side. One more time, it's Hannigan and Eiler here. We have 10 laps left to go. We're halfway through this heat race here. The 01 and the 05. One more time, Eiler back down to the bottom. Hannigan on the top. The 05 going to try to slide up one more time. Not able to get up there. He has to cut it off. Hangs out in the middle of the racetrack. Down the back straightaway, it's 05 and 01 side by side with the 65 of James Murphy right there behind him, just looking for somewhere to go. 2 groups going on in this heat race right now. The bottom and the top look pretty equal. Hannigan kind of catches the fence there just a little bit. That's going to let Eiler slide back up in front of him one more time, take that outside line away. Hannigan looks to cross under. Heading down the back straightaway. Big slider from the 01 up in front of the 05 of Eiler, but Eiler crosses back under one more time off of 4. 7 laps left to go. James Murphy in the 65 sneaking into the picture along with the 110 and Kevin Hanley. It looks like we got a caution. I never did bring the leaderboard up for you there, but looks like we got our first caution. It looks like it might have been Dylan Dewart. We'll jump back over here, take a look at the replay. If it'll load up. There we go. So if we can see what happened to Dylan. There he is in the 120. Oh, it looks like the 42 car caught the wall in front of him. And then, I don't know if that was, what the heck that was. If that was, let's see if we can go back and see that again here. I'm not sure what the heck happened there, but it looks like Charles Allen caught the wall. And then Dylan might have made contact with the invisible car there. So you can see the 42 gets in the corner pretty hard, pushes up the racetrack into the wall. Looks like he's trying to restart, but a little bit of netcode issue there as Dewart hits the car that wasn't really on our screen, and unfortunately the 13 car, Michael Dawson, also involved. It has not been Dylan Dewart's night. Had some issues back in the pro stock race. Ended up getting back up to fourth somehow, but was involved in numerous cautions earlier in the night. All right, we're going to quit doing replays if this is going to get stuck on my screen here. Gotta love the software issues here. All right, they're going to bring him to the stripe off of 4. We got some contact right in the middle of the field, right on the restart. That looked like the 007 of Bachman was involved in it. The 16 car of Derek Woodsky also involved. Let's see if we can see what happened. If our replay doesn't glitch out on this time. We're going to take a look here at the 007. Bachman as we came to the green flag, so you can see Eiler right there in front. There's Bachman right there in the middle of the screen. He looked like he hit the wall down on the bottom. Let's see if we can go back there one more time. Yeah, unfortunately, just looked like Bachman might have made a mistake and collected the rest of the field up there. Coming back to the stripe. Now we'll go back to live time. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. I'll try it again. I'll try it again, though. Thank you, buddy. All right, we're going to refresh our trading paints here real quick. Look at me. We're not getting the right liveries up here for everybody. We'll try to. We've got a couple different pieces of software that help us show the correct liveries for everybody, so we'll see if we can pull that up. All right. Let's see if we can fix this. It sounds like we're not getting all the correct liveries up on our screen here. We'll see if we can find out. Let's try if we get it fixed before the feature event anyway. Braden Eiler is going to bring him to the stripe. Braden Eiler and Mason Hannigan, they're out in front. I'm going to do this one more time here. Here we go. We'll refresh it one more time. All right, Braden Eiler, Mason Hannigan, James Murphy, Kevin Hanley, your top 4 right now. There we go. A little bit of contact there up in the front as we're getting this overlays, these textures loaded back in here slowly. Braden Eiler out in front, Mason Hannigan, Kevin Hanley, Jeff Sharp. And it's the race for the grays. Yeah, it looks a lot better. There we go. So now the 05 is the 37 for us. All right, so the 37 is Braden Eiler, Mason Hannigan. We've been calling him 05 all night, but it's now 37 on the screen. Kevin Hanley, they're in 3rd. Jeff Sharp in 4th. Everybody's cars looks a little better now. There we go. Side by side up in front. It's 05 on my timing screen, but it's 35 on your screen. Hannigan with a big slide back up in front of Eiler. Eiler's coming back on the bottom. We got another caution flag. And I don't know why that popped up on the screen. God dang, this software's killing me tonight. We'll take that off the screen here. Hannigan, Eiler. Kevin Hanley in third. Jeff Sharp fourth. It's Hannigan back to the bottom. They're going to make a little contact, get in a corner. Hannigan looked like, or Eiler looked like he had a little bit of a mistake getting in the corner and caught the 0-1 of Hannigan. That was the finish. My time and score is all gone. All right, let's see if we can go back and find the results there for you. There we go. How's that? So that was the finish of the race. Lovely. Oh, the winner is going to be Mason Hannigan, Braden Eiler, Kevin Hanley, Jeff Sharp, Dylan Slider, James Murphy, Anthony Moreno, Daryl Bass, Dylan Dewart, Derek Woodsky, Sam Bachman, William Clapp, Charles Allen, Michael Dawson, David Tomaski. That is going to be your results for heat number 2. So I apologize. Our software has been a little bit glitchy on us. And that has caused us some problems here, seeing what's going on the screen. So we've actually got the developers working on a fix for us. It works for this SDK software works fantastic for NASCAR races, endurance races, GT3, all that kind of stuff. But it struggles with the dirt races. It doesn't like the not counting the caution laps. So that's where it really struggles with us. So it looks like we got our trading paints done here. Yeah, Eli, buddy. Hey, didn't see your chat there earlier. Yeah, I did have my trading paints going, but it just was, I refreshed it earlier and had to refresh it again. I've got a couple different pieces of software and it looked like they might have been crossing each other up. So yeah, Alan, I heard there was a little bit of glitch here at Oswego with that wall, and I think that's what got you right there. But unfortunately, it looks like it might have also got D right there behind you. So appreciate you guys being here. My name is Chris Murphy, Digital Racing Sports Network. Hopefully we get all of our glitches fixed here before we go back to racing. We got a little bit of a warm-up session going to happen here. We got a little bit of drivers meeting. We got 75 lap feature coming up. They're doing the redraw right now. We kind of have to guess what the lineup is. They weren't able to get us to it earlier. Hopefully they can get us this one. So appreciate you being here with us as we kind of work through some of these bugs. And good luck out there, challenges. You got 75 laps in the feature, buddy. Oh, sorry. So tomorrow night, what did I say earlier? I had it up on my screen earlier. Tomorrow night, Dirty Old Bastards will be back for night number 2 of the Super Dirt Week with heat races and B-mains and everything for the 358 modifieds. And Tuesday night, be back with the same thing for the big blocks. And Wednesday night, the feature events, the 358s, with Thursday night going to finish off the week. As we can see, cars on the racetrack now for warm-ups. Let's see if any of our timing and scoring works here for this. Appreciate you being here with us. If you new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button there. Help us out. We're just kind of get this built up. We've been doing a lot of NASCAR races earlier, as we said earlier, GT3 races, endurance races, covering for some other networks. Trying to do our own stuff over here on this channel. But check us out Wednesday night at Sim Racing Media. We'll be covering the Outlaw Sim Series truck race from, I don't remember where it's at, but we'll be here Wednesday night about 6 o'clock on Sim Racing Media. Check out that YouTube page. We'll be back here bringing you some dirt races every so often. It looks like we got all of our, at least we've got all of our trading pace refreshed up and loaded here for the feature. Richie Gaines in the number 11. I'm gonna scroll through and just get a good look at everybody's liveries. 51 car kind of looks like a Days of Thunder throwback there for Clay Christopherson. 85 at Oliver Gow. Robert Gow here in the 15 car. So it looks like the only car that's a different number on my screen as it looks on there. So my timing screen shows Braden Eiler as the 05, but the paint job shows him as 37. So we'll have to try to remember that as we go along. Anthony Moreno in the 132, winner in the Pro Stocks earlier in the 32 car actually on the screen. About 5 laps left to go in there, so they've got the pill draw done, the redraw done for the feature. See if we can find it anywhere in the chat. Nope. All right, thanks for being here. The warm-up's going on. Looks like we're doing a little piling up on the back straightaway with Richie Gaines there and Mason Hannigan there in the number 1. Oliver Gow and the 13 of Michael Dawson. Also doing some beating and bang here to end off the warm-up. 3 seconds left to go. We're going to get lined up here and see the checkered flag. As a friend of mine likes to call him Barney, so Barney waving the checkered up there. All right, let's see if we bring our grid up. I don't know if this is going to be official or not because they did redraw. I don't think that's going to be the official lineup. At least not up towards the front anyway. So I think they were going to redraw 12. I got 30 cars going to start this feature. If everybody makes it out, I don't know if David Tomowski's made it out yet or not. So that has been our lineup so far with Matthew Rogers and Mason Hannigan. I think that's going to shuffle around. As we said, they did a redraw here. I know that so let's see how they shake out once we come around for our pace lap. And we'll be able to give you a more accurate lineup. 75 laps on the 5/8 mile. You can already see just how black the track is. It is definitely going to slick off. Take a look here at the official pace truck. All right, they're going to shuffle around here. We'll see how this lines up. Give you the best lineup as we can. It looks like you can kind of see everybody just shuffling around trying to get wherever the redraw was for the top spots. Looks like we see the one at AJ Case going up towards the front. We also see the 25 or the 65 James Murphy making his way to the front row. "75 laps here at Oswego." Looks like we got James Murphy on the pole, AJ Case outside, Oliver Gow, Mason Hannigan, Richie Gaines, Matthew Rogers, Braden Eiler. David Galloway in the 7th spot. Like Jeff Sharp going to start back there in 10th inside of him. Dylan Slider. Dean. All right. All right, one more time. James Murphy, AJ Case, Oliver Gow, Mason Hannigan, Richie Gaines, Matthew Rogers, David Galloway, Braden Eiler, Dylan Slider, Jeff Sharp, Dean Reynolds, Kevin Hanley, Chris Christopherson, Anthony Moreno, Chris Roberts, Darrell Bass. And from now back, it's going to be Derek Moore, Dylan DeWitt, Derek Whiskey, Kenny Douglas, Sam Bachman, Charles Allen Jr., Dustin Steinman, Robert Gow, Michael Dawson, Blake Parsons, Braden Blair, William Clapp, and David Tomowski. That is going to round out our 30-car field. I don't see Chris Roberts out there. I guess he did not run this feature, so we're going to come to the stripe. It's going to be AJ Case bringing him to the stripe. It's James Murphy going to take the lead. AJ Case in second. Mason Hannigan in third. They're coming across the line. Off down the back straightaway for the first time. Hannigan looking really strong down the bottom. Takes a dive to the inside of AJ Case there. The battle of the ones there for second spot. And Hannigan's going to settle in a second. Case catches the wall going down into 1 and 2 on lap number 2. He has got him breathing down his neck. James Murphy, Mason Hannigan, AJ Case, Matthew Rogers in the 26th. Braden Eiler's made his way up through the field already in the 37 cars. He's now looking underneath AJ, and it's Hannigan into the wall. We saw him do that in the Pro Stocks earlier tonight. He is going to fall all the way back to 8. So Mason Hannigan back to 8. Showing the whole field. All right, James Murphy out in front in the 65. AJ Case settled back into second. Matthew Rogers, Braden Eiler, Oliver Gow. Mason Hannigan after earlier run in with the wall, back up to 5th now. We look back here in the middle of the pack. Hanley, Bass, and Clay Christopherson back here 13th, 14th, and 15th, 3 wide in that 51 car there in the middle of the racetrack. Just a gaggle of cars down the front straightaway here at Oswego. Lap number 7 to 76. 70 laps left to go right now. Actually, it's 75 laps. They had an extra lap for the lineup. But here is one more time. Murphy. Now Rogers looking to take the lead. The 11 car of Richie Gaines back into the wall hard. He's got some heavy right front damage. Let's see if he can keep it up there and not bring out a yellow. The 11 car looks pretty tore up. It looks pigeon-toed. That may be the end of the night for the number 11 of Richie Gaines. As we stay green, that's Matthew Rogers now. In the 26 up on the outside, James Murphy back to the lead. And there is Braden Eiler in the 37 down on the bottom. AJ Case up on the outside in the number 1. And the other number 1, Mason Hannigan. Your top 5 have separated themselves a little bit away here from the rest of the field. Looks like we've got a couple different grooves working here right now. Rogers, Murphy, and Eiler down on the bottom. Case up on the top. And that's going to, Rogers going to see that. He's going to move to the top along with Hannigan. Your top 5 right now. With what, 9 laps into this race, 67 laps left to go. Big contact right there. Not sure who that was there in the middle of the pack. Looks like it might have been Dean Reynolds. No, maybe not. We saw that back off the back of the camera there in the long shot. Rogers out in front, Murphy in second. AJ Case now with a good run up on the outside. He's got Hannigan and Eiler right there behind him. Murphy slides way up the racetrack, makes some contact with the wall. That's going to let Case move down to the bottom in the number 1. Takes a look to the inside as they head down into turn number 3 on lap number 11. And Murphy into the wall hard. We saw that earlier with Richie Gaines. Looks like there's some damage on the right front of that 65 car as he starts to slide back through the field. And one more time to get back to the front, it's Matthew Rogers out in the lead. AJ Case there in second. And it's Hannigan and Eiler 3rd and 4th right now. Track just keeps drying out. We see it blacking up down at the bottom. We'll see if it takes some rubber down on the bottom. Give these drivers a little extra grip. You see the bottom and the top both working here. We scroll through the field and we look back here in the middle of the pack. It's 3 wide. Darrell Bass in the 90 car down here on the bottom. In the 12th spot with Jeff Sharp there right behind him. Dean Reynolds, Sam Bachman, and Eli Chandler all right here in this battle. We take a look at the number 28 at Jeff Sharp here from East Greensbush, New York. Currently in the 14th spot. He started up in 8th, now back to 14th. We've got a caution flag, our first caution of the night. It looks like it may have involved Sam Bachman or Robert Gow. We'll see if we can take a look here, see if this doesn't glitch out on me again. We'll take a look here with Sam in the 007. Oh, hard contact there. It looked like the 20. Is that the 23 of Eli Chandler? Let's go back and look at that one more time. It looks like Chandler just might have got in the corner a little hard. Get a little bit different angle on it here. Yeah, just 23 car Chandler just got in there, caught the back left rear quarter of the 007 of Sam Bachman. Unfortunately for Bachman, that's going to send him towards the back. We'll see what race control does. See if it gives him his spot back. But out in front, it's Matthew Rogers, AJ Case now in second. Where are we at in this race? We've got 60 laps left to go, so we've got 15 down, 16 to go. It looks like Rogers is going to choose the outside, give Case the bottom. Second annual Dirty Old Bastards Super Speed Week here. Super Dirt. I keep calling it Speed Week. Super Dirt Week at Oswego Speedway. I'm Chris Murphy with Digital Racing Sports Network. DRSN, happy to be with you. See Rogers going up there and up in that loose stuff, trying to cool the tires off a little bit. We've had two grooves out here so far. The track really starting to slick up through the middle. You can see Rogers' view. The pace truck is pulled it in here. They're going to come off the 3 and 4. Rogers going to bring them to the line. Started choose that outside line. Gave Case the bottom. Rogers with a good jump. Going to head down to 1 and 2. Case down there on the bottom. He's got Hannigan up on the outside. Murphy back into the picture along with Eiler. Here comes Hannigan with a good run up on the top. That top looks like the place to be right now is Rogers. Out in front, Hannigan second. Case falls back to third. Murphy there up on the outside with Eiler back in fifth. And it looks like we've got another caution out. Our second caution of the race. Looks like it may have involved Oliver Gow. See if we can go find out here what happened. So Gow in the middle of the racetrack here, gonna slide up just a little bit, make some contact with that outside, and then he tries to come back on the racetrack, gets collected, and now it looks like Steinman might have got wrapped up in this as well. So the 17 car of Steinman also involved. There's a little bit of a wall glitch in 3 and 4 here at Oswego, and I think that might have been what got those guys right there. Because unfortunately for Gow, he ended up spun around. Steinman also involved. So, not to sound like a broken record, but cautions breed cautions as always. So if it's your first time here to the channel, hit the subscribe, hit the like button out there. Thanks for being here. Dirty Old Bastards just getting started with Super Dirt Week here at Oswego. It's the first night of 5 nights of racing. We're happy to be here with you for night number 1. So I think we're going to go single file restart since we did not get a green lap in. Roger's going to bring us to the stripe one more time. Head off, come across the start finish line. You can see that super enthusiastic waving of the yellow flag there by the flagman. Or just the glitchy animation of it back and forth one way or the other. All right, Matthew Rogers is going to bring him in at 3 and 4, and he's going to pick up the start pretty early right there. Rogers with a good jump. But Hannigan sticks right there with him. He jumps to the outside. AJ Case right there in third. James Murphy fourth. Rogers does not get away from him this time as the 26 car down to the bottom. Hannigan up on the top. Case kind of slides through the middle of the racetrack. And here comes Braden Eiler down on the bottom of James Murphy for that fourth position as we are 57 laps left to go in this race right now. Murphy here in the fourth spot. Matthew Rogers out in front. Hannigan and Case side by side for second. Case going to slide back up into third. We look back there in the back a little bit. It looks like a battle with Clay Christopherson with David Galloway up on the outside. Hannigan into the wall again. He struggled with that early on the Pro Stock race. We talked to him about it afterwards. Unfortunately, our Pittsburgh, Indiana driver, but he gathers it back up, gets down to the bottom of the racetrack. He now looks underneath Matthew Rogers for the lead. Has to slide back up behind him. $55 laps left to go. It's Matthew Rogers. We got a car on a wall back there. It looks like the 71 of Dylan Slider. That is going to be caution number 3. The 71 on the fence. We'll jump back over and see what happened there. Looks like he might have just gotten the corner a little hard. He did. He just kind of jumped up over the cushion onto the wall and just rides the wall down through the corner. Fortunately, nobody else involved in the incident. All right. Looks like we got some cars in the pits. Simon down in the pits. It looks like Slider in the pits as well. The 85 car of Oliver Gow also down there in the pits, but out in front it's still your leader, Matthew Rogers, in the 26th. He has led all 16 laps of this race. Excuse me. It looks like one other driver lead a lap early. Who was that? Murphy led 6 earlier. Matthew Rogers led 16. We've got 2 different leaders in this race. But it's been Rogers outpacing the field here for the last 20 laps or so. Rogers and Hannigan, we're going to come around one more time. Thanks for being here with us. 75 lap feature. We're under our 3rd caution of the race. Lap number 24, actually. Yeah, let's go turn that off. 53 laps left to go. Rogers out in front. Gonna come to the stripe one more time. Gonna head through 3 and 4. Rogers and Hannigan. Hannigan with a good start with Rogers, but Rogers going to get about a 3 or 4 car length advantage. AJ back down to the bottom. AJ Case down to the bottom. He's got Eiler and Murphy right there with him. Murphy going to jump up to 3rd. Case is going to fall back to 4th. Who's that on the outside? It looks like Galloway in the 901 is sneaking up in here as well, along with the 20 car and the 51. So the 120 of Dylan Dewart and the 51 of Clay Christopherson. All right, then there's the Wells. We got a battle up in the front. Matthew Rogers, Mason Hannigan, James Murphy, your top 3. AJ Case there in 4th. Up on the outside, that's David Galloway in the 901. Catches the wall just a little bit, loses some momentum. That is going to let Braden Eiler in the 37 get by there for that 5th spot. 51 laps left to go. We're just about a third of the way through this race. And I think we've got another caution. Our 4th caution of the race is coming out. And I think it might have been Derek Moore. So we'll jump back here, take a look, see what happened to Derek. A little bit of contact there in the middle of the pack. The 91. Oh, Gaines crashes again. The 91. The 26 comes Simon in there into it as well. Some hard impact. So one more time, it's Matthew Rogers out in front. Looks like the 85 of Albert Gal's going to get a lap back. He goes around the pace truck. 50 laps now to go. Matthew Rogers out in front. One more time. Mason Hannigan in second. All right, if you're out there in the chat, give us your pick who's going to win this race. We got 50 laps left to go. Long way still to go in this race. Rogers, Hannigan, Murphy, Case, Eiler, Galloway all right there in the top 5. Lights are out on the pace truck one more time. Been watching the pace truck way too many times as this night's gone on. Gonna hit through 3 and 4. Rogers picks up the pace off of 4. Hannigan right there with him. Rogers down the bottom this time. He's going to slide up to the middle of the racetrack, up to the top. Hannigan with a good run off the top of the racetrack, and he get a run down the back straightaway. Now everybody down the bottom. The bottom's starting to come over. A little bit of contact there with their 2 leaders. Hannigan just gets into the left rear quarter just a little bit. He's going to make a big dive to the bottom. He's going to slide up in front of Rogers. Rogers cuts him back under. Nice move there from Rogers, anticipating that slider. Gets back to the front. That slider's gone from Hannigan. Rogers protects the bottom. Murphy now in second. AJ Case down there in the bottom in third. Are actually trying to get around third. Little contact there in the middle of the pack. It looks like the 901 gets a little sideways up on the top. To get back to the front, it's Murphy now side by side with Hannigan for second. Slides back up into third. Looks like the bottom's where everybody wants to. Oh, a little contact with Case. Case gets into the back of Murphy. And that is going to pile up the field. The 74, the wheels knocked off of it. The 901 also involved in that. Go back and see if we can see what happened to start that. It looked like there's a little contact with Case and Murphy up there in the front. Case up here on the outside of the racetrack. They head down into 1 and 2. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Case down to the bottom, trying to get down in front of Eiler. Just catches the left rear quarter of Murphy right there. Turns around up the racetrack. And as you can see, just nowhere for everybody else to go. I can't even call all the cars that are involved in that. It looks like about a 10 or 12 car pileup in 3 and 4 right there with 47 laps left to go. Unfortunately, another caution here in this race. Matthew Rogers out in front. What was that? Let's see, jump back up to live scoring. 5th caution of the race. You can see the 74 car of Dean Reynolds, or 79 car of Dean Reynolds down there in the pits as well. Rogers out in front of this field right now. All right, pace truck off one more time. And it's going to be Matthew Rogers bringing him to the stripe. Murphy, Eiler. Hannigan right there as well. So Braden Eiler right there in fourth. Dylan Dewart's now working his way up into the top 5 in a 51 car. Clay Christopherson. Eiler into the wall just a little bit. That's going to let Christopherson get down to the bottom. In the 51 in the Days of Thunder car. Matthew Rogers out at the point now is going to load more separation here than he's had earlier on in this race. As he puts some he gets a little gap back there to Murphy. Murphy and Hannigan kind of get together. Murphy slides up the racetrack. And here comes the 120 car of Dylan Dewart, of the 20 on the paint job, 120 on my scoreboard. Dewart now fighting his way up here, and he finished in the top 5 in the Pro Stock race here. It looks like we've got a battle going on back here to the middle of pack 2. We look at the 15 car of Robert Gow. And Steinman into the wall there one more time on the outside. That was quite the battle. We'll go back to there real quick. I tried to flip off of it, and I looked back and they're about 4 wide right there in the middle of the racetrack. The 901 of David Galloway back here, Steinman back here, Dylan Slider back here, Dean Reynolds. Oh, we got somebody turned around. It looks like that might have been Steinman, the 17. Just kind of caught a little bit of a look on the screen as I looked away for a moment. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. We take a look here in the middle of the racetrack, we can see the 17 car of Steinman there in the middle. And I'm not quite sure what happened here. Maybe some contact in the front. That looks like that was a long time ago. Let's see if we can find it here. All right, so Steinman up on the outside. Looks like some cars getting together there in front of him, the 94. I think it might have been something with Derek Witzke. So Witzke gets together with the 13 up there on the outside. Oh, some hard contact right there, and it looks like the 16 around, and then Steinman kind of slides into it. So the 16 of Derek Witzke. A little more contact there on the back straightaway. We'll jump back here to live time. Hopefully. All right, so we can take a look here at Simon down in the pits now. Matthew Rogers still out in front. Going to come green. Come off of turn number 4 here one more time. It is Rogers, Hannigan, DeWitt, your top 3. Murphy there in 4th in the 65. Oh, Hannigan does a good job of staying right there with Rogers this time. Has to slide up to the top of the racetrack. We're looking for a little extra bite up off the top of turn number 2. We're 4 wide off of 2 for 2nd, now for 3rd. Rogers, Hannigan, your top 2. Dewart now, Eiler now sticking his nose up underneath of Dewart here for that 3rd spot. Hannigan with a nice move underneath the bottom. He is going to pull a slider up in front of Rogers. Rogers cuts underneath. Does a really good job of seeing that coming. Backs off, hits the brakes, cuts back up underneath Hannigan for that lead. Let's see if he slides up the racetrack. He went to the bottom to protect the slider one more time, but he is going to hold the lead. Here comes Eiler now in the 37 down on the bottom for 2nd of Hannigan. We are 3 or 4 wide here for the top 5 spots. It's Rogers, Hannigan, Eiler, Dewar, Christopherson. They're in 5th, and I don't know why that's so hard to say. I might just say Clay for the rest of the race. But it's James Murphy back there in 6th, so we're kind of single filed out here now, except for the 20 car, DeWitt up on the outside of the 51 of Clay's for that 4th spot. So DeWitt, the only one working the top of the racetrack right now. He's trying to find a little extra cushion. You can see the bottom's just got a little better momentum off the corner. And it looks like we may be under caution one more time. Looks like it might have been something involving Kevin Hanley. Michael Dawson. We'll take a look here again. So we are under our, what is this? Our 7th caution of the race. All right, we'll take a look here at Robert Gow. Robert Gow down there on the bottom in the 15. A little bit of looks like some contact right there in front of him. See the 13 car gets turned around in front of the fielder, and they just all pile in one more time. So that's the second time we've seen that happen. So the 13 car of Michael Dawson gets a little help there from the back. See if we can take a look at it here again. So here's Dawson in number 13. Goes down in the corner. That looks like the 007 of Bachman right there behind him. Dawson kind of comes down off the top just a little bit. Bachman catches that left rear quarter, and unfortunately, the 15 car of Gal just in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're going to pile it up one more time. All right, so we're back up to the front here. Matthew Rogers has now led 31 laps of this race. We've got 39 laps left to go. About just a little bit away from it. It was 1 or 2 laps away from halfway. My name is Chris Murphy, the Digital Racing Sports Network here, bringing you the 2nd annual opening night of the Dirty Old Bastards Super Dirt Week here at Oswego. We are under our 7th caution of the night. We had 9 cautions earlier in the Pro Stocks. We started with 30 cars in this feature. I don't know how many are left. I think there might only be 21 left out there right now. Going to come off of turn number 4. It's going to be Rogers. We're going to take the top this time over Hannigan. Gets a good one more time. Gets another good start. Does not get a good slide through the corner. Slides into the middle. Kind of a slider line. Goes down to the bottom. Slides up to the top of the racetrack off of turn number 2. A little bit of beating and banging back there in the middle of the pack one more time. We're back here to Gal, but we'll take a look at the front. Rogers, Hannigan. Christopherson there in 3rd. Eiler now has made his way up to 3rd around him. Dewart back there in 5th. And you can see the 23 car of Eli Chandler's now made his way up here into this battle. He's in 7th after coming from the back of this field. Started back there in 17th. But it's still Matthew Rogers setting the pace here. Eiler now slides up in front of Hannah. We're 4 wide off of turn number 2. Hannigan, Eiler, and Christopherson right there, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. DeWitt, Roberts right there behind him. So Chris Roberts has found his way up into the top 5. We've not said his name this entire race, but here he is. He finished 2nd earlier in the Pro Stocks. We see him and Hannigan both were on the podium and both up into the front of this race as well. Hannigan gets a little bit looser in his. Oh, it looks like that was the 93 car of Chris Roberts, really loose there in the middle, but he is able to save it. Just about turn that car around. Get our overlays back up and out. They're working right. So Matthew Rogers, Mason Hannigan, Clay Christopherson are in 3rd. Dylan Dewart down on the bottom. Braden Eiler in the 37 running that top. Here comes Dewart down on the bottom. You can see 2 groups working here pretty well at Oswego, top and bottom. Ewart runs right through the middle right there, Eiler running through the middle. Can't quite get enough traction off the corner. Settles back into 5th. He's got Chris Roberts right behind him. Clay Christopherson right here in the 5th spot, or actually in the 3rd spot, sorry. I'm guessing that's Brainerd. I'm not sure if that's Minnesota or Brainerd, Missouri, but probably not spelled right. Look up here at the front. Matthew Rogers still out at the point. Mason Hannigan, our Pittsburgh, Indiana driver, there in 2nd. There's been these 2 up front most of this race. 31 laps left to go of our 75 lap feature. Kind of scroll through the field here a little bit. So it's kind of settled down. DeWitt, Eiler there, 4th and 5th. Chris Roberts back in 6th. Eli Chandler's done a good job, worked his way up into 7th. Then it's Jeff Sharp, James Murphy. Murphy's running up in the top 3 or 4 for a good part of the night, but got involved in a couple things. Now settled back into the 9th spot. It's Bachman in 10th. Dylan Slider 11th. Darrell Bass from Pitkin, Louisiana, back here in 12th. Darrell Witzke. I'm kind of keeping an eye up front as we're scrolling through here. Darrell Witzke side by side here with Dean Reynolds. They make a little bit of contact getting into the corner here. And we get back to the 901 of David Galloway. Galloway, another guy, driver that was found his way towards the front earlier, now still back toward the back of the pack. Kenny Douglas. Kevin Hanley there in the 110. Charles Allen Jr. in the number 42. Back here in the 18th spot, Derek Moore. Robert Gow, Oliver Gow. And then I think that's the last of the cars on the racetrack. So we got 21 cars still on the racetrack out of the 30 that started. We get back up here to the front. Matthew Rogers, the 51 car of Clay Christopherson, has now made his way up to 2nd. Christopherson, I think that's the way it's supposed to say it. It's up to 2nd. Made his way around Hannigan, up 11 spots now. Started back in 13th, up to 2nd. And he has got his sights set on Matthew Rogers. It looks like Clay may have saved his tires up. 26 laps left to go. Hannigan up into the fence one more time. It's so easy to do here at Oswego. The track is so flat. There's not a lot of banking. There's not a lot of cushion up there. So if you just get a little close to that wall, it just wants to pull you right into it. And you can see that happening with Mason there. DeWitt now all over the back of him, taking a look to the inside. Braden Eiler right there. Braden's been fast all night long in the 5th spot. As the 51 car, Clay's going to look to the inside of Matthew Rogers. Clay Christopherson there in the 51. He looks to be the car to beat right now. Last lap, he was about a 1/10 and a half faster than your leader. And he's going to take a look to the inside. 23 laps left to go. Going to try to find a way around Matthew Rogers. That bottom line looks to be maybe rubbering up just a little bit of traction off the bottom. You can see just how slick this racetrack is. It is black from the top to the bottom of the racetrack, and it is Matthew Rogers out in front. Clay Christopher's in there in 2nd. Dylan Dewart, but he's got Mason Hannigan back up underneath him for that 3rd spot. Braden Eiler sitting back there. Christopher Roberts in 6th. Our top 6, a little bit of separation to the rest of the field. 51 car is going to try the top. He's going to look to make a bottom. Rogers saw it coming, drove to the bottom, cut off that slider. They both lost a little bit of momentum to the field behind him, but Hannigan not really able to take advantage. On the last lap, it was Christopherson again with the faster lap time by about a 1/10 of a second over the leader. Hannigan now, it looks like the 51 may have used his tires up a little bit getting to the front because he's losing a little bit of ground to your leader, and he has now fallen back in the grasp of Mason Hannigan there in 2nd. Braden Eiler, and we've got another caution flag, our 8th caution of the event. Oh, and it looks like Hannigan got kind of turned around there. Where'd Hannigan go? It looks like Hannigan might have got, when the caution came out, might have got running in the back of, and he may be out of this race. So it looks like our caution might have been Dylan Dewart here. We'll see what happened. A corny New York driver here. Dylan Dewart ran 4th in the Pro Stocks earlier. He's up on the outside of the 23. Oh, and the 23 kind of slides up. I think he thought he had some room. And it looked like Dewart really thought that, who was that in the 23? That was Eli Chandler. I think Dylan thought Chandler was going to stay down the bottom just a little bit. So you can see him coming off the corner right here. Dewart on the outside, Chandler down there on the bottom. Dewart's got a little bit. You can see Chandler picks up a little push off the corner. The car kind of hops, shoves him up the racetrack right into Dewart. That has just been the story of the night for Dylan Dewart. He has just been in the wrong place all night long. Full throttle motorsports driver, unfortunately, one more time involved in another caution flag. It really did not like really much of his doing there. He was up on the outside, stuck his nose up on the outside of Eli Chandler. Chandler picked up a big push and just drove right up into him. Let's see if we can go back and maybe see what happened to Hannigan as well, because I don't. Where is he on the racetrack? So let's see if we can see what happened to Mason when that caution came out. So he's running pretty solid right there in third, and I think we got Braden Eiler right there behind him. The caution's coming out here, I think, as they come off of 4. Let's see if we can see what happened. I think might have what happened was, I'm just guessing here, but I think Hannigan might have saw that. You see the yellow light flashing right there. He starts to lift. Oh no, I think he was going to come in and take some tires. I think that's what it was. I think he saw the caution, just tried to dive down in to get some tires, and unfortunately didn't time it very well. Caught the wall, and I think he might have had to do a quick jump into the pits. So Hannigan looked to take advantage of that caution flag to come in and get some tires here with about 17 to go. Thought maybe there was a little bit of contact, but let's see, did he make it back out? Let's take a look here. So the Pittsburgh, Indiana driver there, been running up in the top most of the night now. I think he's finding himself out of this race after that incident. And I think that's exactly what happened. He tried to take advantage, come in to get some pit, come in and get tired. I don't know. He just kind of took a sharp left right there. Eiler was not close enough behind him to be making contact, at least not from our view. So we are under caution number 9. Got 17 laps left to go. Can we go caution free for the rest of this event? We're going to jump over here and see if we can. Nothing in chat anywhere telling us what's going on. I'm not sure what happened there. It just looked kind of weird, but unfortunate for Hannigan. He'd been running up front all night long. Right now, your leader, Matthew Rogers, he's led 52 laps of this race. Clay Christopherson there in second. Braden Eiler, Chris Roberts, James Murphy, Sam Bachman, Darrell Bass, Dylan Sliders found his way up into the top 10, up to 8. Kevin Hanley, Charles Allen Jr. Charles said to us earlier in the YouTube chat, this was one of his first times here, just getting kind of at this racetrack, so doing a good job now. Finds himself in the top 10. Come off of turn number 2 here. Patrick's going to pull in. Matthew Rogers is going to bring us to the restart one more time. We come off of 4. It's Rogers out to the point. Christopher's there in second. Braden Eiler looking to get around that 51 car for the second spot. And it's Roberts and Murphy side by side for 4th. Almost a little contact back here with Darrell Bass and Kevin Hanley, but they get it straightened out. Looked like pretty tight race, and Bass is going to find his way around Bachman now. Actually, it was Bachman and Bass. Sorry there. Look back to the middle. We're still fighting back there on the back. So we've got, what is it, 19 cars still left on the racetrack. Actually, 18 cars left on the racetrack. Sorry, out of the 30 that started. And it's Rogers out in front, but here comes Christopherson. They're on the inside of 51. They make a little bit of contact. They head up into turn number 3. It's Rogers going to catch the wall a little bit. He is going to fall back, going to lose the lead here to the 51. Eiler now putting some pressure on the 26 for that second spot. The 93 of Roberts looking, just sitting back there in fourth, just going to see if these guys are going to crash each other out. Rogers looks to the inside. Christopherson blocks off the slider down on the bottom. All 5 cars on the bottom. Rogers got just a right front underneath that left rear quarter panel. Some good close racing there. No contact. Rogers back up on the outside. Here comes Murphy down on the bottom. Eiler in fourth. Roberts sitting there in fifth. Our top 5 have kind of separated themselves out. Oh, a little bit of contact there from, it looked like Rogers just got in the left rear quarter just slightly of Christopher. He backs off, lets him straighten it out. 12 laps left to go of this 75 lap feature. I hope we can go green the rest of the way. We're going to have a heck of a finish here if they do. And as I say that, I bring out the announcer's jinx and we get another caution flag. And it looks like it may have been, we were just giving Charles Allen a little bit of praise earlier. But it looks like he may be involved here in the 42. Let's see if we can see what happened. So you can see Charles up on the outside of DeWitt down there, and I'm not sure who that is right there behind him. That looks like the 79, and just some contact right there. Charles Allen gets kind of turned around. The 79. Who is the 79? I don't even see the 79 on my scoreboard. Not even sure who that is. Oh, it's Dean Reynolds. Let's go back and see if we can see from Dean's view as I try to scramble clicking on the right name here. Here we go. All right, get a little bit different view of this here. So it looks like Charles Allen there in the 42. Dean Reynolds right there behind him in the 79. I get down in the corner. Allen kind of checks up to not run over the back of DeWitt, and Reynolds just kind of runs over the back of him in the left rear quarter. Some big contacts, and they're both up into the outside wall. All right, we get back up here to the point. Lights are out on the pace track as we head off in turn number 2. Was that our 10th caution? Is that what that was? 10th caution of the event. Matthew Rogers. Actually, it's going to be Clay Christopherson there out in front. Matthew Rogers, Chris Roberts, James Murphy coming to the stripe. And our field has dwindled. The 51 car out at the front. Matthew Rogers. Roberts looking to get a good run underneath Rogers there. Roberts down on the bottom. Rogers goes down, cuts off that bottom line. They make a little bit of contact. Roberts is able to check up just enough to let Rogers get straightened out, but that's going to cost him a spot. Oh, he gets back up into third. So look at Braden Eiler back there in fifth. It's Christopherson out in front. Rogers doing everything he can to get back to the point. He's led most laps of this race. He's led 54 laps. Trying to get back to the lead here. Christopherson now out in front. We're 3 wide back here for third, fourth, and fifth. It's James Murphy, Daryl Bass, Dylan Dewart. Oh, big mistake from Roberts. Roberts got in the corner too hard, slid up the racetrack. Able to get a good run off the top. I thought he made a big mistake, was going to get up here into the fence, but he is going to hold on to third. Braden Eiler right there behind him. As we're up here to the front, we jump in the cockpit here with Rogers. Rogers now back in second. We take a look from Rogers' view. It's 8 laps left to go. He's trying to catch that 51 car. Rogers doing a good job working the bottom of the racetrack. Take a look back here. You can see Rogers slides up the racetrack, and he hits the fence hard. Mistake there from Rogers. Gets in a little bit too deep. Slides up the racetrack. That's going to give Roberts a second spot. Braden Eiler is going to move up into third. Rogers now in fourth. Murphy fifth. Daryl Bass, as Murphy makes a mistake, is going to lose a couple spots back to seventh. Clay Christopherson still out in front. Chris Roberts now up to second. Braden Eiler, Matthew Rogers, Darrell Bass. So Roberts looking to be the only driver to finish in the podium spots in both races tonight. Finished second earlier in the Pro Stocks, running second right now. But our battle for third is Matthew Rogers and Braden Eiler. Rogers back up off the outside, off of turn number 2. Gonna take that third spot away, drop down to the bottom of the racetrack, cut off the 37 of Eiler. Cut that bottom off away. It looks like everybody wants to run the bottom, but Roberts actually up there on the cushion. Eiler gonna try to follow pace up there as well. Four laps left to go. We got 17 cars left on the racetrack. We take a look back up here to the front. Can we get the last 3 laps in with no cautions? It's Christopherson out in front. Chris Roberts in second. Matthew Rogers, Eiler fighting it out there for third and fourth. Right now the 51 car with about a second, about a 3/4 of a second advantage, and you can see the eyeball test is about 6 to 7 car lengths. The 51 car out in front, it's Roberts second. Roberts doing everything he can to get back to the front. He's led the most laps in this race by far, 54 laps led. Unless he can find something here, right here in this last couple of laps, he is going to settle for third, it looks like. Christopherson out in front, going to come across the stripe, take the white flag. One more lap to go for the 51 car. Come off of turn number 2 for the last time down the back straightaway. It's Clay Christopherson out in front. Chris Roberts in second. Matthew Rogers in third. Braden Eiler fourth. He's going to come off of turn number 4, and it's going to be Clay Christopherson taking the win. Chris Roberts, Matthew Rogers, Braden Eiler, Dylan Dewart, James Murphy, Darrell Bass, Sam Balkman, Kevin Hanley, Jeff Sharp, Dylan Slider, Robert Gow, Dean Reynolds, David Galloway, Kenny Douglas, Derek Moore is going to be the last car on the racetrack. 30 cars started, 16 finished. And that is going to bring an end to the feature event here for the Dirty Old Bastards opening night. Opening night here of the Dirty Old Bastards Super Dirt Week at Oswego. And it's going to be Clay Christopherson bringing home the win. So we'll see if we can get our top 3 up here in the booth with us. I see we've got Matthew Rogers in there. We've got Matthew Rogers, Chris Roberts. Let's see if we can get Clay Christopherson in there. Christopherson. And maybe he can come in here and tell me how to pronounce his name, because I think I've pronounced it about a dozen different ways throughout the night. All right. Let's see what we got going here. Hey, how's it going there, Chris? Yeah, just a second. Just trying to get something set up here on the screen. We'll get you guys in here for an interview here real quick. I can get this set up where I want. There we go. All right, so we'll bring our winner in here. Is that Loud Pedal? Is that Clay? All right. All right. All right, Clay. Got Chris Murphy here in the booth. All right, so before we do anything else, I have said your last name about a dozen different ways tonight, because for some reason I can't. Say it for me one more time. And I don't know why I can't say that. I said Christopherson. I've said all kinds of crazy things. So, so apologize for first off for that. But hey, man, just a hell of a run here tonight. You came up from the middle of the pack, started back there in 13th, found your way to the front. What did you? Can you give us a little insight? Maybe what did you do to give yourself a little advantage there from that about the last 20 laps on?
but 1 and 2, I just kind of stuck with the bottom almost the whole time to try to get a traction, try to get some rubber down there for the late race. And I feel like 1 and 2, the top was still faster, but one and the bottom was way more consistent. I feel it was pretty sketchy up there the couple times I had to go up there. So I just maintained on the bottom, stayed out of everyone's way, and the car felt really good.
Yeah, it looked like most of the drivers were kind of searching around there, but you just stuck to that bottom. But they're late there, the last few laps, especially the last about 10 or 15 laps left to go. When you got to the point, you had Rogers all over the back of you. A little bit of contact there a couple of times where you a little, I've been in that position before where you're tucking yourself down to the bottom of the racetrack and just, you're doing whatever you can, but you can only control so much what that guy behind you is doing. Did you have any fear at all that maybe Matthew was going to get in there just a little too deep, a little too hard on the contact there?
I'm not sure. I was on the brake pretty hard on entry, so I think if contact would have been made, it probably would have washed me up more than anything. I knew I could hold it down there because that's where that turned into the preferred line, and no, the car just stuck down there, and I just held it down there and maintained pace. I knew I was running consistent lap times. I wasn't worrying about pushing the car unless I really had to.
Yeah, you look really good and consistent out there all night long. Oswego can be such a challenge if you can get the car down on the bottom, get it to rotate. That's where you want to be, and it looks like you did just a skillful job of that. So, how you feeling about the rest of the speed week? Are you going to be here for the?
I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I totally forgot about this race, and I joined about an hour ago. So.
Well, good timing on your part. Hey, man, but before we get you out of here, congrats one more time. But do you have anybody you want to thank?
All you guys for putting us on the broadcast, and all the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block sets.
All right, really appreciate it. Congratulations one more time. Good luck the rest of the week if we don't see you. And Clay, let me see if I can get this right. Christopherson. Clay
Yes, sir,
Christopherson
you
brings
got
home
it.
the win. Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone calls me Putt Putt.
Yeah, well, maybe I should have known that earlier. I'd have called you putt putt all night long because I was just my name's Chris too. You think I'd be able to announce that right? But all right, man, good job tonight. Good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, our second place finisher just happens to be here already with us, Chris Roberts. Hey, man, second both races tonight. What?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, kind of sucks, but I mean, I'll take it at the same time for only really running on Wednesday nights, But yeah, that's just kept my nose clean tonight.
Well,
The sportsman there.
as my dad always told me when we were racing years ago, second's just the first loser. But I mean, not tonight, man. You put on a good show. You started way back in the middle of both these races, made your way up to the top. Had a chance. I thought you had a chance there at the end. You looked really strong. You were the only car really making the top work there towards the end of the race. Did you save your tires a little bit? Did you do anything a little bit different?
Yeah, starting 15th in like first 20, 25 laps, I just kind of took it easy, let things shake out, took care of the tires. I forgot to look and see what they were again at the end of the race, but I knew that was you were going to need them there at the end. And throughout that thing, slowly moved forward, either by passing people or passing them when they wrecked. Just stayed on the bottom, easy on, easy off the throttle, took care of the equipment, and then there with 25 to go, that top side through 1 and 2 was working great for me, and I figured it was I had enough tires to make 25 laps last up top there. Ripped a lip in 1 and 2, and then was kind of running a lane up on the off the bottom there in 3 and 4, and it was working good. And Clay just got to the front before I did.
Well, you got 4 more nights of racing this week. As the promoter, as the owner of the Dirty Old Bastards, what are we looking forward to seeing for the rest of Super Dirt Week?
Well, going to see some big fields for the qualifier nights. Got about almost 60 for the small blocks and like mid 50s for the big blocks signed up. So there's still some room for those. After tonight, I'm going back up top to the booth. Hopefully we can provide some better racing that way. Unfortunately, I was really looking forward to racing, but it is what it is. I want to try and put a better product out there. They also make lining the cars up Wednesday and Thursday a heck of a lot easier if I'm not driving doing it. That gets a little
That
hard
makes it a little
sometimes,
tough.
but yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Ran over a couple guys last year doing it, but but yeah, it's the next 2 nights are qualifiers to make the 32 car field, and then we got up to 4 provisionals available. So up to 36 guys can start both races. So gonna be intense stuff the next 2 nights, and then once the guys are just gonna have to take care of the equipment throughout the first half, first 3/4 of the race on Wednesday and Thursday. That way they're there at the end and they got some tire left to try and make a charge for the end. But looking forward to some good racing the next 4 nights.
Yeah, it should be some good racing. Hopefully we can try to make 1 or 2 of the nights, but congratulations. But again, before we get you out of here, second in both races tonight. Anybody else you want to give a thanks to?
Design Metal Art, our league sponsor. That's where the metal print trophies for this week are coming from as well. Thanks to them for always helping out with the trophies there. Thanks to you for volunteering your time there, Chris, to come on board and broadcast tonight. That's we're over 3 hours, so thank you, appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else does, and just thanks to everybody who signs up and comes out. We'll see how the rest of the week goes.
Well, thanks for having us, and if we don't see you, good luck the rest of the week.
Sounds good. Thank you, buddy.
All right, we're gonna get our 3rd place finisher in here, Matthew Rogers. Hey, Matthew, you got Chris Murphy here in the booth.
Hello.
How you feeling after tonight's run?
Pretty good. Led most of it. Just made a couple mistakes. Just trying to run slide line 1, 2, and just kind of drove it in too deep. But yeah, no, feeling really good. No, we got good pace going into the next couple nights here, and yeah, no, had a really good race with Clay there. Me and him ran hard, and yeah, just glad we can get a solid top 3 there. Sucks we couldn't get it done, but definitely good momentum rolling into the next couple.
Yeah, you led 54 out of the 75 laps here tonight. You looked really strong up front. You looked to be the car to beat for sure. Clay just kind of snuck up on you there at one point, and I was really surprised he had as much pace as he did. I really thought this was going to be your event for sure. But did you feel like maybe you used the tires up a little bit too much towards the end, or?
Yeah, definitely probably could have saved a little bit better there. I was just trying to keep my momentum rolling and run the top 1 and 2. The bottom was definitely where to be in 3 and 4 most of the race. But yeah, no, he definitely had a little bit more pace than me by the end. So just got to learn from it, and yeah, just try and carry that knowledge into the next couple nights, and just know that we have a car to win and better ideas going into the next few.
So what do you think you can do differently tomorrow night than what you did tonight?
Probably just save really. I just tried to. I feel like I tried to push too hard to get in front and kind of set the pace of the race, and the pace of the race is a little bit too fast almost. Just probably trying to slow everything down a little bit more and probably move to the bottom a lot sooner than I did. I just kept trying to just get up on top of 1 and 2 and just try and just drive around them, but they would just get better run off the bottom there towards the end and halfway through the race, in all honesty. So yeah, just probably just try and get to the bottom sooner, really. And running the 358 is gonna be a little different, a little bit more power than tonight, but yeah, we'll just see what we can do and try and move forward.
Yeah, you did a good job running that top. I ran enough laps around Oswego myself that there's really, it's so flat up there. There's really not a lot of cushion to hold on to, so it's real easy to make a mistake. But you did a great job up there running the top as long as you did. But hey, man, before we get you out of here, you got anybody you want to give a thanks to heading on to into the rest of the week?
Yeah, probably just the whole Precision Motorsports team. Didn't really have time to get a wrap made for this week, but yeah, I just can't thank Rylan Gray and all them guys enough. They've been helping me a lot these past few races and this whole season so far. So can't thank them enough. And yeah.
Well, appreciate you being with us, and good luck the rest of the week if we don't see you. And thanks again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet. All right, so that is going to wrap up our broadcast for the night. Dirty Old Bastards, 2nd annual Super Dirt Week here at Oswego. Happy to be with you here tonight. they got 4 more nights left to race, and I don't know if we're going to be here for all 4 nights, if we're going to make any more. We're definitely not going to be here Wednesday. We've got a sim race and media truck race with the Outlaw Sim Series to cover. But really appreciate you being here with us. If you haven't been here before, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're building this channel back up on our own Dirt Racing and Sports Network. It used to be called Dirt Racing and Sim News. We used to cover a lot of World of Outlaws Xbox games, but we've transitioned over to iRacing. Just really excited to get over and cover some dirt racing here. Chris Roberts letting us come in here and cover the DOB events as much as we can. So once again, appreciate you being with us. We're going to go ahead and check out for the night. And congratulations again to Clay Christopherson. I said it wrong again. Christopherson for the win. Chris Roberts coming home a second once again in both races here tonight. Matthew Rogers going to come home in third. And that, let me see, let's see if we can pull up the top 5 here real quick. I don't think I covered it very well till we went to the interviews anyway, so we'll just pull it up real fast. Go back to our live screen here. And that was not a good decision. So there we go. All right. We get back to the top. There it was. Clay Christopherson, Chris Roberts, Matthew Rogers, Braden Eiler, Dylan Dewart, James Murphy, Aaron Six, Daryl Bass, Sam Balkman, Kevin Hanley, Jay Sharp, Dylan Slider, Robert Gow, Dean Reynolds, David Galloway Jr., Kenny Douglas, Derek Moore. That was the last 16 cars running. Then it was Charles Allen, Derek Witzke bringing home the 18th spot. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here again tonight. Come back and check out the DOB, Dirty Old Bastards, if you're looking for some great racing. These guys put on a good race. We had a few caution flags tonight, here and there, but it was still some great racing. Happy to be with you. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. So